And we're live. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, School 51 Pre-Production. I'm your host, Jason Harris Edwards. I'm actually just your co-host. There's actually another person that does this with me called Garrett Duran Moran. And you're probably asking what this channel is if you're here. Our plan is to make a short film, like a 22-minute pilot for a television show idea we have. Ultimately, we want to get this on like one of the bigger networks, like Netflix or Disney Plus or something like this. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is try to create like a 5-minute teaser, something to show like how neat the idea that we think it is, and something to get people interested. And once we've got that 5-minute video done, then we're going to work our way to a 22-minute pilot episode. The show idea is called School 51. And on this YouTube channel, we're actually going to be doing kind of like an inside scoop on how to make a show, because I've never made a show before. I've never made my own episode from scratch. I have like animation background and I've worked on some pretty cool shows, but mostly in backgrounds. And so I've never actually started a show from scratch. So you're going to get to see, if you follow this YouTube channel, you're going to get to see how to create characters, how to make backgrounds, some of the concepts that go into it, some of the animation stuff. And you're going to be kind of learning along with us, because we're going to be learning as we do this as well, Garrett and I. I'm more the artist of the duo. I am a creative type as well. I do a lot of the brainstorm behind the ideas, but Garrett's also an ideas person as well. So him and I brainstorm on all the writing together. And each episode's going to have different things, but for the most part, we're going to try to have some continuity and some consistency. For this episode, we're going to be showing how to draw the Loch Ness Monster, and a particular Loch Ness Monster called Plamora. And I'll also explain how she relates to the show. So every episode, there'll be like a cryptid, and you'll find out what a cryptid is, but essentially it's just creatures from lore. And, you know, each episode will kind of show how to draw one of these, and we'll explain how they fit into the overall show idea. Quick bit about what School 51 is. It's basically, well, given the idea that Area 51 is sort of the defenders of Earth, all the cool stuff like aliens, zombies, everything that we want sort of hidden, that the government sort of has hidden from people, Dracula, like all the vampires, things like that. Cool stuff sort of locked away and hidden and defended by Area 51. These are the kids. You'll be following Caslow, the central boy of our story, and his best friends as they go to School 51 to learn how to become defenders of Earth. So, and we'll get to showing how to draw Caslow and how to draw some of the overall cooler characters and stuff like that as we go. But today we're just going to do something simple. We're going to show how to draw a Loch Ness Monster, and the Loch Ness Monster that lives in the catacombs of School 51. So without further delay, we'll get to that now. Hi there. Okay, so here we have the bare bones of the Loch Ness Monster, of Plamora's shape. And as you can see, it's just in circles. So we have an oval, I guess I should say ovals. We have an oval for the body and an oval for the head, and sort of a tube-like structure at the base of the neck. You know, the main key about when you're drawing any sort of character is I just want to make it super abundantly obvious how important it is to just draw in simple shapes. So a simple shape like this, once it's established, it's so much easier to change and fix and edit if you need to. And you always want to draw simple shapes before you get into complicated shapes. So I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of drawing this ahead of time, but I'm going to erase this and start from scratch here. So we have a blank. I'm using Photoshop here, but you know, a piece of paper will work with this. Anything like the iPad software, Procreate, I think that's what it's called, that will work as well. So we're just going to start off here with an oval, very simple, and then within the oval we're going to kind of, that's the head, we're splitting it in two, sort of picking an area around the center of where I want her to be looking. And from the outside of the oval, you just draw a line for the neck. From the inside circle, inside the oval, you draw the other shape. Now you have basically a tube. And then you draw your other oval. That might be a bit big, I might rethink that. It's about right. So you basically have the two ovals and the tube. Within the second oval, which is the body, I'm just going to draw a line, and that's just going to establish where her center of gravity is and where the tail ends up being. We go from the top there to connect it, we go from the bottom there to connect it. So essentially you see how simple it is. We're working in simple shapes to come up with this general look. For the fins, we're just going with a line there and a line there, and those are just to indicate where we want them. And then the bottom shape there and the bottom shape there, and you suddenly see that we have the fins in process. And then because you want to have her being a 3D object, we've got the backside fins. It's not very good. And we're just going to shade those in so you can see that those are on the other side of her body. So now you can see that we have kind of the general look we're looking for here. Once we zoom in, we can draw her head. Now, you know, Loch Ness monsters are essentially dinosaurs, I think is where the original myth comes from. And for her, she would probably be part of the family of plesiosaur. And they always have these sort of predatory, scary bridges on top of their eyes, sort of a half circle at the bottom, and an eyeball. And as I said, this is to separate the two sides of the face. So you want to have a nostril, and in reality I actually would have made it more this way because I really want her looking in this direction. So I'll just erase the original line and go with the second line that I have. And I want to put a nostril at the top there, and I want to put a nostril at the top there, and then because she's a hunter, I want to have a big open mouth. So I have a line there following the contours of my circle, and a line there. And then I'm going to follow along the bottom of the jaw and essentially create a head. So a bunch of teeth. And again, you'll notice how I'm not really spending too much time worrying about where everything is perfectly. All I really want to do is get a general idea of what this looks like. And now I kind of realize that this eyebrow is probably a little farther ahead, so I'll draw a line from the top of the bridge connecting the nose. That looks more like what I'm looking for. So that's essentially how to draw a Loch Ness monster in the most roughest form. Now, once you have what you like, you can turn it into and create a lower opacity on this layer. If you don't have Photoshop, it's just put a piece of paper over top of it and draw a good copy. But I've got this down to like around 30%, and I'm going to create a new layer on top. Now I'm going to work with lines that I like a little bit better. I'm going to work with smoother lines. I'll usually zoom in and have a look. I want to round the head out. Actually, and I'll also work with a smaller line. I'll work with maybe a different type of brush, something a little bit more finesse on it. So around the head, and then draw a nice smooth line from the bottom. Pull out. You know, you can see once you've already got a smoother look to it once you erase that. But anyways, I've gone ahead and drawn the mom fully, and I wanted to show you guys so that I can spare you the detail of drawing it in good detail. But I've used this exact same process. I drew an oval across her body, an oval for the head, a tube for the neck. I've thrown in the teeth, but all I've essentially done is cleaned up the lines and added details where I felt like they were necessary. Plamora herself has 5 spots on her, so I've drawn the spots. I've actually added some color to her as well. You can see that she has some marine type colors. Garrett Duran Moran is going to be showing you guys, or explaining a little bit more about her in detail and her personality, but just to show you where she lives in School 51 here, I haven't fully colored it, but I've just kind of drawn in some neat lines around where the background. This is the catacombs. You can see the lake that she lives in, and you know, the stalagmites and stalactites. I even drew a cool little dude there who feeds her, keeps her company. Obviously the students will come down and keep her company and learn from her, but yeah, so essentially there you have. That's Plamora. That's how to draw the Loch Ness monster, and I hope you enjoyed that. So now you've learned how to draw Plamora. For more detail about who she is and what she does and what she means to School 51, I'm going to pass you over to Garrett Moran for the weekly cryptid report.
Hey you all, my name is Garrett Duran Moran. I am co-creator and co-writer for School 51. Thank you so much for joining us here today at School 51 pre-production. I'm here with the cryptid report for lake monsters. The most famous and most popular lake monster, of course, is the Loch Ness Monster. And because of that, all other Loch Ness monsters, lake monsters, are often called Loch Ness Monster. Most lake monsters are often named at the lakes that they're from, such as Ogopogo from Lake Ogopogo, or Champy from Lake Champlain. Lake monsters are often, of course, plesiosaurs or other creatures that we've all assumed were extinct millions and millions of years ago, and these are the later generations. Most lake monsters are plesiosaurs. Some of them come as long serpents. Generally speaking, most of them are known in cryptids to have long necks, small heads, large bodies. Because of that, our cryptid, Plamora, is a plesiosaur as well. Jason showed you how to draw her, and I'll tell you a bit more about her backstory. Plamora was known as the Crystal Lake creature. She lived in the Crystal Lake, and she was often there, slowly but surely getting a penchant for junk food. She really started to enjoy junk food that was being produced, that she started breaking into cabins with her head and also doing tricks for treats for local tourists. It was starting to become quite a bit of a problem, and Area 51 had to unfortunately intervene in the situation. A lot of the problems with Plamora is that she is way too tame to be a wild cryptid. She doesn't hide. She wants to be in front of the camera. She likes eating all the delicious, tasty treats that humans create. So with School 51, they have placed Plamora. Since she's friendly to humans, she lives underneath School 51, and she will often be there for food and for lodgings to help all the students of School 51 and teaching them about mythical creatures, how to interact with mythical creatures, and also she's there to help teach kids about the environment, about how a lot of cryptids and a lot of the mythical creatures are part of nature, and that we have to respect that. And they're trying to teach Plamora to respect nature by having her teach the students to respect nature. Plamora is a huge fan of daytime television and is a huge fan of potato chips, so they bring in a lot of potato chips and have a giant TV for her to sit and watch. Unfortunately, she is no longer able to be released back into nature, and she is now a permanent member of the School 51 family. Thank you very much for watching today, and I hope you have a very good day. That okay? All right.
Oh, it wasn't filming. So that was Garrett Moran's cryptid report. Thanks for that, Garrett. So yeah, if you liked what you saw today, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it with your friends. We're going to get more professional as we go along. This is kind of our first time ever doing anything like this, and we're learning on the job. Even just like the tech side of things, I'm filming on my phone. I'm going to be using iMovie to do all the editing. We have some basic equipment, but this is very bare bones, very basic. So it might be a little spotty here and there, and you're going to see that we're not the most polished characters in terms of YouTube television, but it's a great chance to learn how to draw some cool things, follow along the ride with us, and get to know a little bit about what we're doing and what our goal is here. So yeah, hope to see you all here again. Hope to see the channel grow, and till next time, take care.